Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Hi, boys and girls. How are you? All right, it's so nice to see you here. School going okay so far? All right, perfect. My name is Gregory Kelser, and I am very pleased to be here as we look to unveil a new basketball court at Howarth Park and celebrate the completion of the final phase of the Detroit Pistons' 6-year, $2.5 million basketball court renovation and refurbishment project with the City of Detroit's Parks and Recreation Department, a partnership that saw over 60 court renovations in parks throughout the city since 2017. When Tom Gores took over the Pistons franchise, he set a tone to be impactful both on and off the court. He views the Pistons as a community asset, he said this many times, and is steadfast in his executing on his vision to make a difference in the community. With the franchise's move back to the city of Detroit in 2017, his vision has crystallized even more, and the organization is constantly looking for new ways to build on current projects and increase its impact in the community. So to help us today open this fully refurbished court here at Howarth Park and share details on the completion of the 6-year project, please welcome Detroit Pistons Vice Chairman Arn Tellem. Stand up, Arn, let everybody see you. I'll bring you up in a second. I just want everybody to see you right now. City of Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan, Detroit City Councilman Scott Benson, and the Senior Vice President and Executive Director of City Year and the President of Burr and Iowa Block Clubs, Sharice Butler. You're a busy lady. So with those introductions completed, I want to get into today's announcement, and to lead us off, I want to introduce a gentleman who has been in town now for, I think, 8-9 years, and he has been very key. He represents the owner, Tom Gores. He's the catalyst for the club's move to Detroit and continues to be a presence in the city of Detroit. Let's welcome Detroit Pistons Vice Chairman Arn Tellem. Now, Arn.
Adjust this. Thank you, Greg. I'm really excited to be here today. It's quite an accomplishment. On behalf of Tom Gores and the Pistons organization, I want to thank you all for coming. And we're really so excited to announce the completion of our 60th court in the city of Detroit. It's an amazing thing. And it's really the completion of the commitment we made to the city when we made the move of our $2.5 million court refurbishment program that we did over the last 5 to 6 years. So thank you all for helping us and supporting us in this great project. I'm honored to be here today with two of our legends, Greg Kelser and Earl Cureton, two people that give so much back to the city as well, and two of our brightest young stars who I love dearly, Jaden Ivey, our star rookie from last year, who I fell in love with when I first met him when he came to work out for the Pistons, and Asar Thompson, our first-round pick this year, who we're really excited to have, and they're part of our young core and give us great hope for the future of this franchise. So thank you, two, for coming and supporting this. And first and foremost, I have to thank Mayor Duggan. And Greg alluded to that I've been here 8 or 9 years. It's really 8 years. I started here 8 years ago, the day after Labor Day, and I met Mayor Duggan probably right around this time. It was at homecoming 8 years ago. And I never knew where this relationship would go when we first met. But his first comment to me when I met him at homecoming was, I got to talk to you about coming downtown. And sure enough, after that meeting, we started getting together and discussing a potential move. And it was clearly in the best interest of our franchise to be in Detroit and play in Detroit. But in talking to Mayor Duggan, I think we both realized it wasn't about just playing basketball games in Detroit. It was about making Detroit our home. And with that, we built our practice facility. And going to Tom Gorris's vision, it was about making impact not just in the business district where we were going to play our games, but in the neighborhoods. And I have to give credit to Mayor Duggan for coming up with this idea. It was his idea to refurbish 60 courts throughout the city and make an impact and touch the lives of young people throughout the city and make a difference in these beautiful parks and refurbish these courts. So Mayor Duggan deserves much of the credit here. It was his idea, and we embraced it after much discussion because really that was what we wanted to do. Our mission, of course, is to win games, and with Jaden and Asar, I think we're well on our way to accomplishing that. But these courts really, and our court project really goes to the heart of that, is to improve the lives of young people in Detroit. And with that, I want to welcome a special group of young Detroiters from the Jefferson Douglas Academy. We're so happy that you're here. I want to welcome Sharice Butler from City Year, our partner, who runs City Year. It's a great organization that we do so much with, so thank you for coming. And of course, I want to welcome a good friend also, Detroit City Council member, Scott Benson, who's been very supportive and helpful to the Detroit Pistons. So Scott, thank you also for coming. This court, while it's the completion of this project, I want to tell to everyone, we're not done in Detroit. We have much more to do working with Mayor Duggan and Scott Benson. We have much more to do in the city. We're busy undertaking a renovation and building a community center in Rouge Park. And obviously, we've announced a major development, building out our campus with Henry Ford Health and Michigan State University, which we're very excited about. And I have to tell everyone, there's more to come. And we're so grateful for, obviously, you, Mayor Duggan, and all your support and help and advice. Couldn't live without it. And we're here with you to partner with you in the future to do great things for this great city. So anyway, thank you all for coming today. It's a special day. We want to celebrate this moment, and onward and upward for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Arn. We're very appreciative of the work you continue to do, you and your wife, Nancy, here in the city of Detroit, definitely being impactful and making a huge difference. So thank you. Next up, we'll have the gentleman who has provided our city with tremendous leadership and remains focused on each neighborhood in this city as Detroit continues its resurgence. Let's have a nice hand for our mayor, Mayor Duggan.
All right, so let me ask the young folks that are here, how do you like the way the court turned out? Came out okay, right? So the Pistons, some of you, I bet you don't even remember. You know where the Pistons used to play? It was called Auburn Hills. You had to drive an hour, and then you got into that parking lot, the game ended. You were stuck in that parking lot for an hour, and then you had to drive an hour back. Detroit wasn't connected with the Pistons up in Auburn Hills at all. And I really wanted them back here. What do you think? Do the Pistons belong in the city of Detroit? And so here's what they did. Arn telling the Pistons, I said, we want the team downtown. We want our stars downtown. But does anybody here someday think they might work in sports? Any of you think you might do that someday? So you know what the Pistons did? They didn't just bring down the 12 basketball players. They brought 300 jobs working for the Pistons downtown where you can you get into high school and stuff, you can get internships and you can find out about it. The people that run the basketball courts, the people that sell the tickets, the people that do the advertising, all those jobs are here. Anybody think they might want to be in the music industry? Some people here like music. So they used to have, the Palace in Auburn Hills had a lot of concerts. But you know what they did as part of the deal? They demolished the Palace. It's not there anymore. Every concert is now down in the city of Detroit. There's hundreds of jobs in the music business that are here in the city because of the Pistons. And this is the kind of thing that we wanted to do. So when the Pistons said they wanted to come down, they wanted to be part of the city, they brought all the jobs here, and then they said, how can we be in the neighborhoods? And they went to a lot of parks. A lot of folks haven't heard of Howarth Park, but it's a big deal to people who live around here. And we were fixing it up, and now this park and 60 others are a lot nicer because of the Pistons court. And you know what they're going to do next? They bring out and they have programming and activities. They don't just pave the court and leave. They keep coming back with the players and with the staff. So let's give the Detroit Pistons a big hand to say thank you for what they've done. And the person who has fought for them every step of the way to do as much as you possibly could do in this neighborhood is your great councilman, Scott Benson. Bring Scott Benson and give him a big hand.
Hey, thank you for that, and good afternoon, everybody. As usual, it's an honor and a privilege to be here, and just to see this type of excitement and this type of development in our neighborhoods is fantastic. And so many people may have forgotten, but in the past, when we did developments, this is not what the results were. We had something called the Community Benefits Ordinance, which now requires that large developments have some type of community benefits in our neighborhoods. And this is a direct result. The community residents requested strongly that the Pistons and those part of that project would provide some type of benefit in our neighborhoods. And the residents asked, well, what about basketball courts as well? And so you have an administration, Mayor Duggan, you have the Pistons who say, that's a great idea. We do basketball for a living and we do it quite well. Let's lean in and we're going to build 60 plus courts throughout the city of Detroit. Now, we also said, let's make sure those happen in our neighborhoods as well. And so the 3rd district, we got 10 of the basketball courts, parks within the city. And so out of that 60, so we are doing quite well right here in the 3rd district. I just really want to make sure that we thank the Pistons and the administration. And this means that our residents now have parks throughout the city where they can go and play basketball on high quality courts. And now there may be some lamenting on those because these are the double rims. And so I know that makes the rim a little more difficult. But we wanted to make sure that the kids in the city of Detroit have that little extra oomph. And so if we're practicing on double rims, once they get to the single rim, you know the ball's going in. And so we have a little extra oomph for the residents in the city of Detroit. And I believe the coach told me that earlier today. There we go. And so for you all who will be playing here, this is a fantastic opportunity. And just want to make sure that we keep this going. And thank you to the Pistons and thank you to Mayor Duggan and to our recreation department to make sure that we have these type of facilities throughout the city, in our neighborhoods, not just in the downtown. And it also takes partnerships with youth-serving organizations. And so when we talk about youth-serving organizations, City Year is one of those organizations. And it's also a pride for me to know that I've got community residents who live right around the corner who grew up playing basketball here, who are here to see the fruits of the labor and the community advocacy as well. So Ms. Sharice Butler, whose family has been longtime advocates and members of this neighborhood, is here from City Year. And so from our neighborhood to City Year to seeing a park being built right in her neighborhood is huge. And so I'd like to call up Ms. Butler as well. Round of applause, please.
Thank you so much, Councilman Benson. To Vice Chairman Tellum, Mayor Duggan, thank you so much for this time today. I grew up in this neighborhood. My granddad, who's in the back, he's 89 years old. He first moved here in 1967 following the Detroit uprising. Connection to Detroit's history and the local community is a value with which I was raised. As Councilman Benson said, I grew up playing ball here. And so a lot of times you'd see my granddad, he had a blue Grand Marquis. He'd be sitting on the side, kind of supervising. You weren't sure, you didn't know that he would be here, but he'd be watching. And so for me, I'm deeply committed to the resurgence of Northeast Detroit. This past summer, I actually moved back to the neighborhood. I bought a house and I renovated it, and I watched this park come alive over the summer. And so I'm just grateful for the partnership as a resident and then also as the executive director of City Year Detroit. Thank you to the Detroit Pistons for your continued investment in our neighborhoods and our schools. The Pistons partner with us at Osborne High School, and there was just a great unveiling of a Planet Fitness gym. And because of partners like the Pistons, we also expanded in this neighborhood. And so at the beginning of this school year, we are now serving in Law Elementary School, which is right up the street. So thank you for this work, for our continued partnership. And I know that with Pistons, Mayor Duggan, the administration, and nonprofit entities like City Year Detroit, there will be a vibrant, beautiful community for all of our young people to thrive. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Butler. How about another round of applause for these great group of leaders making a difference in our community? Let them hear it. Let them hear you. This is an exciting day for those who utilize the courts here at Howarth Park. And without further delay, let's open this new court and shoot some hoops. I'm going to ask right now that our dignitaries move to the center court for a group picture, as well as our ribbon cutter. They can be joined by our youngsters, our Piston players and legends. You're already a legend, Jaden.